Namaskar. We would like to welcome you all on Independent Research Ethics Society's AYUSH Samriddhi, and particularly on the step or milestone of 1562 in 4 years. We are really grateful to you all because due to your cooperation, dedication, active participation and guidance, we have been able to achieve this milestone, and the journey is infinite. I would like to welcome Dr. Suparna Sanyal Mukherjee Madam. She is really an excellent orator, and Sutpaji equally well. Very nice, inspiring lectures we are receiving from last 2 years. We are fortunate that we have the great speakers like Suparna ji and Sutpaji. Thank you very much, madam, for joining today. And the today's subject is stop child labor. This is the day for abusing child labor, and this is really the absolutely worst tradition that we are observing every day to collect the garbage. They are having a bag of double of their sizes, and they are collecting garbage from any city, any street, and that is not employment by any employer. That is the instruction of their father, who is unable to nurture them, nourish them and guide them, and they are on the road. तो दोनों ही चीजें बड़ी क्लियर हैं. घर वालों को भी मना किया जाए कि वो बच्चे काम को भेजें, तो उनके लिए कोई स्कीम शुरू होनी चाहिए. हमारे केवल कहने से स्टॉप चाइल्ड नहीं हो जाएगा. We are crying that stop child labor, and the gas oven or unun or angithi is not being enlightened in their houses. So they are bound to send their daughter or son to collect garbage, the father and mother, and employer, where the nobody is there. Employer is also father. पिताजी की चाय की दुकान में बच्चा आराम से हंसते हुए काम करता है, क्योंकि उसको मालूम है कि 20 साल बाद मुझे ये दुकान संभालनी है. लेकिन दूसरी तरफ इतने अत्याचार सहते हैं ये बच्चे. 1/10 ऑफ द सैलरी, आधा अधूरा खाना, कोई टाइम नहीं. 20-20 घंटे बेचारे काम करते हैं, कहीं भी वहीं जमीन पे सो जाते हैं. उनके यहाँ कोई उनकी केयर नहीं, कोई उनकी सेंटिमेंटल केयर नहीं. आज सबसे दुर्भाग्य है कि हमारे यहाँ, नॉट ओनली हमारे यहाँ, मेरे हिसाब से ये हर अनडेवलप्ड और अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्री की कहानी है कि वहां बच्चे बहुत दुर्भाग्यशाली हैं जिन्होंने ऐसे माँ बाप के घर में जन्म लिया है जिनको पैदा करने का अधिकार नहीं. पैदा करने का अधिकार उसी माँ बाप को है जो अपनी संतति की रक्षा कर सके, पोषण कर सके, भरण कर सके, विद्या दे सके. ऐसे नमक हराम माँ बाप जिन्होंने बच्चे ज्यादा पैदा किए लेकिन उनके लिए कोई भी केयर नहीं कर पाए, वो ऐसे बच्चों को इस शोषण की दुनिया में धकेलते हैं. मैं माँ बाप का दोष ज्यादा मानता हूं. कई वहां देखा है, कई चौराहों पे देखा है, माँ आराम से बैठी बैठी चाय पीती रहती है, उसके 3-4 बच्चे भीख मांगते रहते. क्या क्या युग है ये. वो लेबर ही है कहीं के, वो बेचारे भीख मांग रहे हैं, वो भी एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, उनको भी रोज उसका हिस्सा मिलता है. जाने कौन सा गैंग उसको ऑपरेट कर रहा होता है. तो बच्चों की बड़ी दुर्दशा है. देखता हूं तो डर भी लगता है, शर्म भी लगती है कि आने वाला युग किस लेवल पर पहुंचेगा. कौन बूट पॉलिश सूंघेगा, कौन कौन सा नशा करेगा, कौन कौन सा इंजेक्शन लगाएगा, क्योंकि उनकी जिंदगी ये माँ बाप दुर्भाग्य से उसी दलदल में धकेल दे रहे हैं जो नशे की दुनिया है, अपराधों की दुनिया है. और जनरली आप देखिए, जो बाल श्रमिक हैं, यदि उनको सही जगह नहीं दिया गया या सही जगह उनकी परवरिश नहीं हुई, तो जनरली 70% of them are criminals in elder age, because they have not received any good item, received any good sense of the life in their life. So they have to occupy each and everything by hook or by crook. इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री सर से ये, सॉरी मैंने लंबा पूरा कथन कर दिया। रोज बच्चे देखता हूं सर कचरा बीनते हुए, मुझे लानत देने का मन होता है कि इनके माँ बाप यदि मिल जाते तो शायद उनमें गोली मार दे। ऑफिशियल प्लेटफॉर्म पे बोल रहा हूँ, माँ बाप को उसी को, हाँ देखिए इमरजेंसी हो, कहीं कुछ गलत हो गया हो, ऐसे में ठीक है, वो भी शासन को, हमारा शासन भिक्षावृत्ति के विरोध में काम करना चाहता है, हमारा शासन बाल श्रमिकों के विरोध में काम करना चाहता है, लेकिन क्या ये काम उनको रोटी और पढ़ाई दे सकता है क्या? ये भी शासन को सोचना। आदरणीय
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर पवन कुमार शर्मा जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। विषय की आपने जो प्रवेश कराया बहुत जबरदस्त तरीके से कराया। पहले तो हम अपने दोनों आज के आदरणीय वक्ताओं को, डॉक्टर सुपर्णा सान्याल मैडम मुखर्जी जी और डॉक्टर सुतपा वर्धन जी, जो इस विषय पर विशेषज्ञ के हैसियत से आज हमारे साथ उपस्थित हैं, उनका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं। और आपने सही कहा, वो उम्र जो बच्चों के खेलने की और बाल सखा बनाने की, एंजॉय करने की होती है, उसमें वो दूसरे तरीके से इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि पेट भी बना। अच्छा, हमारे यहाँ जो कहने कुछ दूसरा प्रकार, हमारे यहाँ भी बच्चे यही 4 साल 5 साल वाले रहते हैं, कोई श्रम कराता है नहीं कराता है, ये वो अपने ही कौतूहल बस एक तो गंगा कराने होने के नाते तैरना सीख जाते हैं, और इतना अच्छा तैरते हैं कि अंदर बहते हुए तुरंत नारियल को पकड़ के लेते हैं एक दूसरे को पास करते हुए, और बाहर लाके 5 रुपए 10 रुपए उसी दुकान पर फिर बेच देते हैं या पैसा ले लेते। माताएं उनके पैसे आती बिल्कुल शरीर से पूर्ण होती हैं, और फिर भी उनको कहती है कि हमें 10 पैसे मिल जाए, तो ये उनकी व्यवस्था रहती है। जबकि खेलने खालने की बात हम बहुत पीछे जाए, अगर बिना पेमेंट के कोई बच्चे खेलते एंजॉय करते हैं, वो उनका खेल है। जैसे कि हमारे भगवान कृष्ण हुए, बच्चे थे और गाय चराने जाते थे, 4 पहर बंसी बट बट के शाम बड़े घर आयो, वो भी 12 घंटे काम कर लेते थे। 6 बजे से मेरे गायों का झुंड ले जाते थे, शाम को गोधूली वेला पिलाते थे, एंजॉय करते थे, और अपने बच्चों के संग खेलते थे अपने सखाओं के साथ में। उम्र बहुत छोटी थी, लेकिन यहाँ पर ये मिसयूज और मिस डायरेक्शन में जाने के बाद लाइफ को एक्सपाइल करने की बात होती है। यहाँ भी वो कुछ न कुछ खरीद के फिर नेल पॉलिश खरीद लेना, कुछ और करने लगा, ये काम बहुत ही खराब होता जा रहा है। तो आज के हमारे मैडम लोग सब बतलाएंगे कि बाल श्रम कितना बड़ा अपराध है और कैसे इसको सामाजिक कुरीति को कैसे दूर किया जाए, क्या समाधान हो सकता है। So we are most interested to have their knowledgeful address on issue of this ill will and child labor, how to prevent it. So we are here to listen from our learned distinguished guest speakers. तो आप आमंत्रित कर लीजिए, हम करते हैं। दोनों लोग उपस्थित है, मैं डॉक्टर सुतपा वर्धन जी, आप दोनों में से जो पहले चाहे, वैसे डॉक्टर सान्याल जी को हम पहले आमंत्रित करते हैं। मैडम सुपर्णा सान्याल मुखर्जी जी सादर आमंत्रित। आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट हर फॉर हर प्रेजेंटेशन। मैडम सान्याल जी, यस, नमस्कार।
Very good evening. Namaskar. Very good evening on this platform today. And I really, very interesting topic and burning topic in today's world, because child labor is a very dangerous situation right at this moment. Child is our origin and the child is our, future. So if we can exploit the child or children right at this moment, it is a very dangerous for the nation building. Child labor is a curse. It's a social menace. It's exploitation of children through any form of work that interferes with their is mentally, physically, socially, morally, and which is very harmful to them. Such exploitation is prohibited by legislations worldwide. But this considered that the work and the child labor is a very, very dangerous situation which has been created by us only, because Sharmaji, Dr. Sharmaji is stating that the parents are only the responsible for this child labor. Yes, parents are responsible just because the conception of the parents is that in the rural sector, they believe that if I have one child, that means I have 1 rupee. If I have 10 children, that means I have 10 rupees. This is the conception of especially the parents. That's why they are uh, giving birth of the children one after one. So that's why the population explosion has happened and the population boom is going on. In that cases, 2 3 generations, there should not be any children should be born in this earth. Otherwise it is a situation may happen when we all will be the exploit. What is the causes of this child labor? It has been explored. The poverty is the main causes for this child labor. The poverty orientation which has happened and which is the main causes in this factor, because especially the rural and urban sector, we have seen there is so many types of employment. Lack of employment is encouraging the child labor. So children are very good enough to work for their parents, and lack of meaningful alternatives such as affordable schools, at the same time quality education according to the state's environment, the proper environment of the education is lack. That's why they couldn't go to the school, and at the same time various obstacles they also facing for this child labor. And what is the basic causes of this, and what is the main history? Because we have seen the child labor started from the Industrial Revolution. Especially the child labor form an intrinsic part of the pre-industrial economics. In pre-industrial society, there is rarely a concept of child in the modern sense. Children often being to actively participate in activities such as child rearing, then the hunting, then framing as soon as they are is competent enough to do such works. In between the age group of 6 to 14, it has been earmarked that all the children are working, they should not be worked as the age of 6 to 14. That's why our education policy said that the education for all 1986 policy said the 6 to 14 years of age children should not be work, and the parents cannot send them to the any work, any physical labor. But at the same time, they also introduced, because they said they think that if the child can bring the food for them, they will be the happy, and in their old days they will look after. And the child used to do that. That's why he or she has come in the earth. So it is their conception, and there is nothing, there is nothing to be practiced and nothing to be sensation. There is nothing to be enjoyment. So the only enjoyment is the reproduction. So that's why this situation has happened and generated and offers has come. So the education policy also giving them the midday meal. So if the parent can secure the one-time food, then they can send to their children to the school. That was the conception, and by which the education policy, at the same time the Child Labor Act and child labor policies also introduced, by which children can be protected. And many of the cases we have seen that in case of the Industrial Revolution, the worldwide problem, the child labor has happened. So in that cases, the particular became the which has been observed that there is a various type of children. The each and every corner of the children, the most children, those who are living in the African region, they used to send their children for this work. And the 5 years of age, they send their children to work for them, work for the parents, at the same time work for themselves also. So that's why it has been generated and it has been explored in the various Western situations. In today's time, in 20th century, which has been observed that, especially the India, Pakistan, Indonesia, and the other countries where the child labor is very rapidly increasing, and child labor is very dangerous and they are being a social menace for the society at large. So, what is the how we can protect? At the same time, child trafficking is also observed, because child trafficking, if we can see that any kind of child, the parents the sell their children for the few money, because they cannot survive, they cannot rearing of their children in proper fashion and manner. That's why they can sell their children with a few money and the few concessions. So in this area, it has been observed that the 1911 there is a 18.3%, and today's if we can see the ratio, it has been gradually and chronologically giving the less, that is the 7.8%. How it has happened? Just because of the Child Labor Act. Child Labor and Child Protection Act 2008, which has been introduced by our government, of which, if you can see any child or any children is working in the any kind of near about in your area, you should be give the objection. So there should not be any child should work. There should not be any children. You cannot forcefully give there. It is absolutely prohibited. So child labor acts is very important at this present juncture, which can ensure the children for the betterment of life. Because we should not forget that today's children is the tomorrow's nation builder. Because if we cannot rear our and rearing of our children, so that there is a nation should not be built up with a proper fashion and manner. And the same time, the parents should be make their awareness, and parents should be know that if we can rear up one child, then that child give you the 100%, because proper education gives the proper benefit. Proper education will give the child to become the established in the society, to get the proper job, to earn more money. So whatever they have thinking that the 10 children is their security and 10 children is giving them 10 rupees, instead of if they can rear up the one child and giving the proper education and proper benefit and proper health, food, nutrition. So if the child can get, that child will bring the 100 rupees for them. So they will be the more secure. The parent should be more secured by one child. So that's why it is this phenomenon is happening, and this conception should be introduced in each and every parents, especially in the rural area where the parents doesn't have the education, where there we can see that the first generation learner, only the first generation learner. So in this situation, if we can introduce the child should go to the school, or children should go to the school at each and every sector. And this, what has happened in the COVID situation, there is all the schools were totally closed, and there is no internet connection. Those are rural children, how they will learn? Their total education system is stopped, and there is no teacher can enter into their houses. There is no there was a situation that untouchability at the but the child, how they have getting again the situation prevail, that the children is not taking caring of. Of course, we have come across this COVID situation, the post-COVID situation. We have seen the children are going the school and colleges, and they are starting their education system in proper in rhythmic way. So this is the very important part of our society, that we should be more active, and we should be more cautious, and we should generate the awareness in each and every parts of our country, that the children should be taken care of. Because this today's child, who knows, there is some Sachin Tendulkar may be there. Who knows? Someone may become the Saurabh Ganguly. who knows, there is someone may come as Narendra Modi. So there is a full of expectations. There is a full of potentiality. Nobody, it has been, we have observed that the rickshaw puller, his child, his boy is stood the first in the CBSE or ICSE examination. How it has happened? It is the situation, it is the talent. Every individual born with a special talent. This talent should be ensured. This talent should be counseling. Counseling should be there, so we can develop our children in the society. And the quality, if we can develop the quality of the children, we can develop the nation as at large. So we should remember that each and every individual have the responsibility to develop and to look after our child or children in the proper manner, that they should get the education, they should get the proper nutrition, they should get the proper facilities, which is they are deserved. They are deserved for this society. Not only the parents are responsible, but the council also should be there. The government should taking care of the children to avail the all potentialities and facilities there. Thank you very much. Thanks to giving me such an opportunity to say something on this auspicious platform. Thanks very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. You are best as always. Really. Your knowledge is really awesome. Adani Agnihotri. Kindly invite Sutapa Vardhan ji with your comments.
Now, first of all, I am very thankful to Dr. Subarna ji for her presentation. Very nicely and very to the point highlighted this curse of our society. Of course, she told about the number of extra child simply to gain more and more money earned by them, just to make their bread available. Anyway, thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Madam Sutapa Vardhanji, as she is a psychologist too. She would also will throw light over the psychological aspect of this evil, or how it can be managed to stop it, or can be guided, can be given the guidance to the persons and the parents, those who are indulging their these child to such type of offensive work. So, madam, invited. Namaskar.
So a very good evening to all of you, and really very, very excited. I get very awed whenever these sessions happen for Ayush. And of course, when I see the energy in so many people, and that also too late evening, when we try to talk amongst ourselves. Now, today's topic is very, very sensitive, very, very touchy, and I think is actually a burning topic. So, for decades, child labor has been a very important global issue, and it is associated with educational opportunities, poverties, gender inequalities. So there are not lot of areas which has come up and given rise to the child labor. Now, it is a very, very important concern for all of us, not only with respect to mental health, but the public health, which we should consider. Now, the impact of child labor, what we call it as the International Labour Organization or the ILO, it describes child labor as something which is an illegal employment of children, that it not only deprives their childhood, but also their mental health, their potential, their dignity. It is harmful to their physical aspect as well as the mental development. So when we talk of child labors, there are a lot of factors, pictures which come into our mind. Physically, what we see, like as rightfully Dr. Sanyal mentioned, and also Pavanji mentioned, it's a very pathetic sight when we see those big luggages being carried by children. So that's very, very sad in the point of eyesight and earsight. But do we understand what is actually going on within the child also? So there is a lot of areas where the child himself will not grow, because this is not only the burden of that big bag which is there on his back, but it is also the baggage of low self-esteem. The child feels that I have not enjoyed my childhood. The child feels what is wrong in me, that there are other children who can enjoy their childhood, who can get the love from their parents, who can do the right things at the right time, do their studies, do their enjoyment, do their playing part, but I am not able to do. So it is very, very difficult that we try to understand the sentiments of this child, and there are certain areas which we can tackle. Like, and what are the different tackling? Of course, we should give not only from a mental health professional perspective, there are therapies. Now, these therapies are not only for the children. So these therapies are for the society. These therapies are for the communities, and these therapies, above all, are for the near and dear ones or the caregivers of the children. So we can tell them that this is not right, not wrong, not only from the point of the child labor point of view, but what is the far-reaching impact that when we are giving this exercise to the child, so much of burden, so much of hard work to the child, whereby in the lifespan of 70 years or 60 years, till a person lives, a considerable lifetime during the childhood or during adolescence, when the child is supposed to enjoy, and that is the best part when the growth of the child is taken care in terms of physically and mentally, he's not getting that access. What is the very important part? So therapy should be there, parents should be not parents should be taught, parent people should be counseled, local community should be counseled. Even there are certain families who are keeping children as child laborers. So the situations whereby they say we are taking care of their poverty. And how are they taking care of their poverty? By making the little children do the household work, by employing the little children in their offices. So indirectly, we are not helping them in the point of financial point of view, but we are killing them as far as the self-esteem of the child is concerned. Secondly, it is very important that we give equal opportunities to all the children. So giving the equal educational opportunity will obviously help to curb the child labor. And third is working to end the poverty. Now, poverty and corruption is a very important aspect in our country, and I think we don't need to talk more in details about these two factors. But these are the areas which can be tackled to bring control to child labor. Now, coming back, so this is an overall understanding and an introduction which I just wanted to give what is child labor and how we can take care of it. But when I see it in the point of mental health, we see that child labor has become such a menace in the society that with child labor, as they get the money in their hand, this is also increasing the risk of addiction in the child. So what is happening? There are children who do their own work, and instead of spending the money in the right way, or instead of even spending the money and giving it to their parents, they often spend this money in very wrong things, like getting involved in a lot of abuses, lot of marijuana, as well as dendrites, as well as other types of addictions which the children get involved. So this is becoming a very dangerous part, whereby child abuse is leading to child addiction. Similarly, we see that there are cases when children are put into uh, child labor, and which becomes for women, for girl children, sometimes this labor becomes very, very cause of trafficking. So that is becoming very, very important, and the sexual part which gets where these people, where children are getting trafficked. And the third part, when child labor is bringing a toll into the society, is when the children get the money in their hand and they become more and more greedy, and they try to build in more corruption, and they go into wrong paths. Because it is very difficult that sometimes when children are doing child labor, we can be sad about them, but at the same time, this is a place where the children find easy money, and they don't want to do education, and they find out the ways by which they get more money, and this is also a cause and root of trouble for their childhood. So these are areas which we can really talk of them, and all these impact the mental health seriously in the society and the community. And as Ma'am Sanya correctly said, the children are the pillars of the existing society. They are the present and they are the future. So if we are seeing that the future is becoming so difficult, that the future is becoming a case whereby it is becoming very, very weak and we cannot make use of our future generation, then it is very, very risky for us. We really do not know where the community stands, where the society will lead to if we have a bunch of generation, if we have bunch of young adolescents who are prone to this child labor, and they have not got the right education, they have not got the right culture, and they have not got the right environment to grow up and hence to take care of their childhood at the right time. So I think with this, I would like to end this topic and thank you once again, Ayush, to give me the opportunity to speak in this platform. Thank you once again.
थैंक यू मैडम, थैंक यू। मैं आप दोनों से प्रार्थना करता हूँ, सुतपा जी से और सुपर्णा जी से। कल एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक हम सेलिब्रेट करने जा रहे हैं जो 15 तारीख को था, लेकिन बिकॉज आई विल बी इन अदर फंक्शन ऑन दैट डे, तो मैं कल एल्डर अब्यूज अवेयरनेस डे सेलिब्रेट करना चाहते हैं कि आवर एल्डर्स मस्ट नॉट बी अब्यूज्ड इन एनी केस, एंड यू आर रियली सैल्यूट टू बोथ ऑफ यू, सैल्यूट टू बोथ ऑफ। आप लोग बहुत अच्छा बोल सकते हो। एल्डर डोंट अब्यूज, ओनली रिस्पेक्ट एल्डर फॉर हेल्थी लाइफ, हैप्पी लाइफ। सॉरी अग्निहोत्री, थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
ये अच्छा किया आपने हमारे गेस्ट स्पीकर से शेयर कर लिया। सच्ची बात है, हम लोग जिस एज ग्रुप में जा रहे हैं और वैसे भी एल्डर्स आर ऑलवेज रेस्पेक्टेड, एंड व्हेन द रेस्पेक्ट इज गिवन दे विल बी डेफिनेटली फीलिंग गुड मेंटल स्टेटस, तो वो अच्छा लगेगा उनको। ये तो हुई आगे की बात कल के लिए, लेकिन आज के आपके मैडम सुतपा मैडम के एड्रेस के लिए बहुत बहुत आपका थैंक यू है, बहुत बहुत आभार है। बहुत अच्छे से आपने बतलाया। ये एक्चुअली हमारी सोसाइटी के करंट टॉपिक्स है और सभी के मन में इसमें चिंतन होता रहता है, लेकिन एक्सप्रेस करने की पावर किसी किसी को ही होती है या रियलाइज करने की पावर उसी से होती है। तो आपने बहुत अच्छे से शेयर किया, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है। और हमारी वेबिनार की ये श्रृंखला चलती रहे, इसकी हेल्थ के मेन पैरामीटर्स आप सब लोग हैं, बने रहते हैं, तुम्हारा ये चलता रहेगा। तो आपको बहुत बहुत आभार। और आज के अब डिस्कशन के क्रम में हम सोचते हैं ऑलमोस्ट आप म्यूट हो गए।
जी सर, जी सर, बोलिए सर, आप कुछ
मैंने
बोल
कहा
रहे थे।
डिस्कशन के क्रम में हम समझते हैं हमारे सभी लोग विचार आ गए, तो समापन करा सकते हैं। आदरणीय
जी सर।
लक्ष्मीकांत द्विवेदी जी हमारे साथ हैं, तोमर साहब हमारे साथ हैं, तो आ गए हैं एज ए स्पीकर भी विचार आ गए हैं। और आज की तीनों ही वेबिनार्स के लिए हम चाहेंगे कि हमको आपके आशीर्वचन के द्वारा ही आज का उपसंहार किया जाए। तो प्रोफेसर आदरणीय द्विवेदी सर को स्वागत करते हैं। नमस्कार सर। पुरानी परंपरा को बनाए रखने के लिए सर आप कंफर्टेबल हैं? हाँ।
आदरणीय गुरुदेव कंफर्टेबल है क्या? मैं जगदीश्वर जी से भी पहले बोले हैं रिस्पेक्ट एल्डर पे, तो कल भी फिर प्रार्थना कर रहा हूँ जगदीश्वर सर भी बोले, बहुत कृपा होगी।
बताइए जल्दी। हाँ।
तो शिवरात्रि करें सर।
चलिए आप भी वन ऑफ द स्पीकर्स रहे आज, बल्कि उद्घाटक बल्लेबाज रहे, तो आप एंड तक आप ही खींचे हैं। तो आपके ही श्री वचनों से आज की संपन्नता होगी आज की तीनों वेबिनार के क्रम में।
वैसे प्रेजेंटेशन ठीक था सर,
बहुत गजब। तो मैं तो सोचता हूँ आज कई बार ऐसे अग्नि परीक्षा का समय भी आ जाता है और उससे गुजर के जो निकलते हैं तो वास्तव में तभी जो है वो कुंदन बन के निकलते हैं। वैसे तो पड़े रहते हैं, कुंदन बनने के लिए तपना जरूरी होता